Guys, welcome back to Vintology by Lola. Thanks for stopping by today. I have a little inspiration, hopefully, for those of you who are feeling like you don't want to do a huge junk journal. I absolutely adore Shabby Soul Suzy on Instagram and YouTube, and she is on Tim Holtz's design team. And she always has the most amazing projects. If you haven't gone to check her out, you need to go check her out. She does some tutorials, but she almost always does a flip through. So even if she doesn't show you how to do it, she shows you everything that she used to make it or to complete it. So that being said, I made two of her projects and they went together so lickety-split and they were so fun. And talk about trying to get out of a funk. I was doing so much stuff for school that I just did not feel like actually making a big, huge project. So these were the tickets. So let me show you the first one. This is a tag flip out or an accordion book. I'm not exactly sure I can't remember what she calls it. And so I just filled it with all yummy Tim stuff. And to be completely honest, there is really no theme, even though I do like themes. This one doesn't have a theme. So I will start at the beginning and I'll just show you. And if you want to go see hers, you can go see hers at Shabby Soul on YouTube. And I'm sure she's got a picture on Instagram. So I started out with a very, very chunky tag that I made, and then I kind of just did a whole collage on that, and that serves as the cover of the book. And then the back of the book also has one, and I did a collage on that one too. So it's pretty thick. It's chipboard, so it makes it really sturdy. And then I just put some coffee dyed lace on here. This was a slide that I had covered with washi tape and did one of Timmie's pictures and one of his little flares and one of his chipboard words and just kind of grunged it up a little bit, okay? So then when you open it, I'll put it down enough to hold it. There we go. Here again, this is all Tim stuff. This is his paper from his new line. This is some cut aparts. This is some tape I made. This is so old. Oh my gosh. I bought this when I first got into Timmie when he was doing plastic, and it was a whole sheet, think of a sticker sheet, and it was just all plastic words, and you just snapped them apart or cut them apart. And I've been holding on to those forever, and I thought I have to start using those. And then I just used some rub-on, and I used one of his flowers and some lace. And then we move over to this page, and it's just got a little pocket and more Timmie goodness. And then I just took a music sheet and just kind of dolled it up and put some junk on it, stuck it in a little pocket there. And I love the idea of leaving the threads. I'm not always a fan of it. It depends on what I'm doing. But for this, because it is so grungy and kind of shabby and old looking, that I think the threads work really well. So then you flip it over onto this side, and I did a belly band, and with the belly band I just did some fabric and some lace, and I grunged up another one of his words, and then I made a little, I wouldn't say that it's an ATC, it's just a little card. So I used some of his paper dolls, clocks, an old vintage stamp, and again there are those plastic words again. And it actually just fit in here perfect. Because what I did was I made the book, and then I just made a whole bunch of embellishments and figured out where I was going to put them. This piece here is just a piece that I put on a ripped, torn pocket. Another Timmie picture, one of Timmie's little old charms that you could put in. It was like a cabochon, and then you could put the little words in there. And then I just took one of his ephemera cards and another ephemera card and one of his cutouts from one of his dies. And then there's some of the washi tape that's actually fabric, and I just put a little tag on it and stuck it in there. And then you flip this one over. You can see, so pretty much it's all pockets, and then the pockets are filled with stuff. And I tried to sew around a lot of them and do some of the stuff that I saw that Suzy had done. And she actually has a tutorial for this. And here are just some of Timmie's, more of Timmie's ephemera. I just put some lace on here. I put his alphabet tape on there, and I covered everything with coffee dyed paper to make them more sturdy. And here, this one turned out really cute. This was an oldie that I found in my embellishment that I made, and this just flips down. So you can write stuff in there, and then you're just going to take this and put this back up there, one of his tiny, tiny little clips. That works perfect. And then I just did a, oh gosh, you guys hear this. If you haven't bought this, they have this at Hobby Lobby, and right now it's 40% off, $12.99. This is the coolest embossing folder. And this one is lace, and it actually looks like you have laid lace on top of your project. It is so cool. Oh, it's so cool. So I just grunged it up and put some sari tape on the top. But if you're looking for a really cool 3D embossing folder, that lace is perfect. And then you flip it to the back. And here again, I said, here's the chipboard piece that I did. But what makes this really cool, oh, and here I put this on there, one of Timmie's words, and then I just put a flower and another little charm on there, just dangling down. But now we start on the other side. Oh, I just love this book. So then this is the back cover, and again, more of his shabby deliciousness, grunginess, whatever you want to call it. Some of the tape I made, and again, I did a collage thing where I just put a bunch of pieces together. Here is another pocket, all Timmie. This is his new photographs. And this was really cool because I think it's called Creative Cafe Girl. And she has the coolest idea, and that was taking a used tea bag and decoupaging it over the top, and it gives you just this very old look. So then you just kind of crunch it up in the back and make it look very old. And when I say crunch it up, I mean short of balling it up in your hands, you just kind of mess it up, and then you put I used collage medium from Tim Holtz, put that on, put on a little number, and then used another one of his embellishments, his little ephemera pieces. And I just love the way those turn out. They look so real. They look so old. You'd never know that I actually bought it and that it was white. It looked like it came from my stash. Love it. The Instant Family. Okay, and then you flip it over again. And then we have this pocket, all more yummy Timminess, another pocket. And for this one, I'm pretty sure I made a tag. It's kind of funny because I'll tell you in a second why it's funny. I can get it out. This one always wants to stay in there. There we go. Okay, so this is just some more Timmie paper, some of his rub-ons. This was a really cute die that I have that makes these tiny little doilies. And this is such an old sticker. This is like from one of his original sticker books. And then, of course, we have the paper dolls and some lace. And then I put a little safety pin and a heart and a flower. And that turned out really cute. But here's the funny part. We move on to this one. And this one, I love this little page with the bingo and 5 for 5. Because if you go to bingo, you always can, you can get a certain number of bingo cards for a certain amount. So that was perfect. And then the flowers. And then I thought, oh, I'm going to do something on one of his tags. Well, gee, did you use the same exact girls? I love these two little sisters. They are so cute. And so it's kind of funny. It wasn't until I started looking through when you were, you know how when you're completely done, you go through your book and see if it needs anything else. And I saw that and I thought, I wonder if anyone else is going to catch that. But anyway, so this is one of Timmie's tags, some more of his flowers, more of his ephemera. I just thought that was kind of fun. And that was another thing that Suzy kind of was showing you how to do. And here's another way to use a ticket, which was to use it as a pocket. And so that's what I did. And this one is actually a little booklet. And this is using his wildflowers and more of his alphabet. Can't remember the name. You remember use those punch guns to make these? I can't remember what they're called. And here we go, and this just has some paper, some grunged up paper for writing notes, and then it's got a little tag inside that I made, little lace, and flip it over, just a cute little nothing. I mean, a little no nothing. And I actually keep this paper clip on here because if you want, you can swing this open, and it's held together with fabric washi tape. So you can do that. We'll put that back on there. Because you know what happens, people, right? What happens? You can't remember where it goes when you're done with the video. Okay, there you go. And then the final page is this sweet little girl and she's on just a tiny little card. And in Tim's new kind of Project Life cards, he's got these really tiny little ones. And so I thought this was so cute, her sitting, the butterfly girl sitting on the washi tape, and his little fabric remnants and stuff. So when you pull it out, this is, and then you're back to the beginning. So when you pull it out, this is what it looks like. Okay. And then you flip it over and you've got all that. So this one, if you are having a problem doing a whole book or you just don't know what to do, this is a great quick project because you literally can use scraps, you can collage, you can decoupage. I did it all. I stitched, I used everything I had. And quite frankly, I didn't throw anything out because I thought, oh, this is great. I didn't even think of using only pieces of ripped paper because I use a line and then I'm done with it. The second one that I did, moving on here, because I'm going to try to keep it quick because it seems like the longer my videos are, nobody stays around for the whole thing, which is fine. I get it. So I'm going to make it quick. This one was, mine got super, super chunky. I don't think it's meant to get this chunky, but this is actually made out of pattern pieces. So like, let's say you have, let me grab a pattern. I think everyone knows what I'm talking about, but just in case for some reason somebody doesn't. So here's my vintage pattern. Here's an old one from like the 60s, right? And this one, I don't even think it's ever been opened. The book is actually made from this part of the pattern. So you layer 6 or 8 pieces of that. And then I put batting in the middle. So the book actually is much stronger than you think it would be. And it really is so much fun to do it. And then you sew it. So you've got all these little pieces coming out. So here's the back. And then what I did was, Tim has some tissue paper. So I layered 8 layers of the pattern. Then I layered a piece of cotton batting. And then I layered a piece of his tissue paper that had a pattern on it. So you can just vaguely see the pattern through it, right? And you can't really see it on the front. Well, a little bit, okay? Then what I did was it's one signature, one ginormous signature. If I can even find the center, guys. Hang on. Anyway, and you sew it into, here it is. Okay, so you sew it in to your book. Well, I didn't like the way that looked, so I ended up just putting a piece of lace on it. And I wanted something else kind of make it vintagey, so that's why I put 2 layers of lace on this piece. More of my hand-dyed tape, and I had made this a while ago and pulled it out of my stash because when I get bored and I can't do anything, I just start making stuff with my pieces. I'll just pull out stuff and see what I can come up with. So this was an old reel that we used. I can't think of the name of it now. You guys know what I'm talking about. As a kid, you used to look at the pictures. And I just used part of a napkin. I used some washi tape. I put one of Tim's words on it, and I put one of his ephemera. And so that's the cover. So, and then I put this little thing that I had just made. I was just sitting around. I had about an hour, didn't know what to do. So I just made some of these little junk charms. I mean, and I literally just put everything I had. So a little bit of seam binding. I had some of these beads, and some of these beads are old. Like this one was from an old pearl necklace and stuff. And I just put them together and put them aside. So when I needed something, I could just pull it apart. Hopefully you guys do that. That's a really good idea. So anyway, so you open it up. And it starts out with a library pocket that I collaged and decoupaged. And I made another little card. And this one turned out really cute. Like it. Is there anything with Tim that I don't like? I don't think so. So, well, no, that's true. I don't like the crazy birds. Okay. Just saying. Okay. So then I took this page and I want to tell you guys something because I found this out. And maybe some of you guys know that. Can you see that little rhinestone on there? Okay, so I was at Hobby Lobby and I bought these, and I will show you these really quick and then we'll get back to the book. These are, they're calling them brads. Okay, they call them brads, and they're in the sewing aisle on the wall at Hobby Lobby, and they're in different sizes and stuff. Well, you guys, what's really cool about these is you just stick them into what you want to stick them into, and they've got prongs on the back. And I literally could use my finger and push them in. but it works better with a jewelry tool. So if you have a jewelry pliers, you just push it in. But and I got the small ones because I just wanted to see if they would work. Well, now I'm going to go back and get the large ones. But they are so cool. So you can put them anywhere in your books, and it closes like a brad, except that you have to get the 4 ones, the 4 prongs. And the prongs are pokey, so they actually stick. You can actually push them through your paper or whatever you're doing. And it just lays really, really nice on your project. So, little tidbit. Rhinestone brads in the sewing department. So here's the first page. Here's the second page. I did a pattern pocket with the pattern pieces. Here's some tickets I printed out. Put some onion skin that I had dyed on the back. There's some lace. Here's an old vintage card that I just used the front of and put. This is some vellum that I dyed. Okay. Here I was gifted this, and I have no idea who gifted it to me. I am so sorry, but thank you. It goes perfect in my book. It is so stinking cute. So I just attached it with one of Timmie's clips. Okay. And underneath is actually just more paper with more lace on it. Here's some coffee dyed paper with some lace. Here's another little piece of avocado dyed paper. I got this, I think I got this from Red Lead, and I saved it. And I thought it was perfect to go in this book. Pages filled with memories, stories, and happiness. And I thought that was so cute. And then I put ledger paper on the back. And that just is a little pocket. And then here's some more of my coffee dyed onion skin paper with a cute transparent sticker. Here's a little page that I made. And this was, I can't remember where I got this tutorial, but this was a printout, put a stamp on it. And then in the back, you use printed vellum. And then I put in another little ticket. I put that in there. Oops. Okay, put that in there. Okay, there's that. Here's another little page. Here's one of Timmie's little flashcards that I dolled up and used some more ledger paper. And this thing actually moves, so if you want to move it, I did it like that. Flip it over. This was a ledger page that I had sewn on, and here's another one of my pieces of Timmie's paper that I used a tea bag on, and that was actually written on there. And then I used old pattern pieces on the back, which is a great way to use up those for the back of your paper. Here's a little luggage tag. And I just used music note paper and put a little note on there about being alto sax. More paper. Here's part of an envelope. Just put some cute stuff that I had printed out and die cut. Here's a cute page. And this is one of his vellum, I'm going to call it a vellum postcard. That's kind of what it looks like. This was another old card that I had that I thought was really cute. Love this. I get this from Buttermilk Basin. She's got this fabulous velvet rickrack. It is so gorgeous. And I thought, oh, that'd be fun in this one. This is old wallpaper from my friend Becky. Hey, Becky. And I put this together, and then I put another piece on the back. This is the middle. This is actually Edith Holden. Here's some Timmie stuff. Here's some more wallpaper, Timmie's paper. This is that really cool... I'm not exactly sure what it's called. It feels like a rayon to me, and it's on a spool, and it's in Hobby Lobby in the paper crafting, and they have it on 2 rolls, so you get 2 colors. Well, it works really well for doing a ruffled trim. And here's the back. It's just, I left this open so you could stick the picture in, and then when you're done, you can glue it. Here's another little card that I made. It's bigger than an ATC. And I just took a bunch of stuff and put it together, and I just thought it was really cute. So I put 7, thinking the boy was 7. He has a little dog. He went someplace with the dog. It was $2.89. And as long as we are together, pretty much happiness, right? So, and this actually I used when I cut my book. When I did my book and I cut pieces off, I had pieces I didn't want. And so I saved and cut those pieces, and I'm saving them to use them as belly bands and stuff, which look really kind of cool. Okay, this has some washi on it. Here's another skinny little tag, graph paper, some more of that yummy velvet rickrack. This is just a little envelope that I made, and this is more of my lace, and it didn't turn out, but I thought, you know what? it looked really cute, so I just put a piece of tape on it, and I put on one of Timmie's rub-ons and some old lace, and thought that was kind of cute. That kind of worked out really well. I don't know why I sometimes feel like everything has to be perfect, but, and then I just put a piece of wallpaper on there and stamped a little bit, and here's some more paper. Here's a little music. It's a music card that I got from Donna Little, and I guess they use this for marching band. So I just thought, it's just called The Book, which I thought was cute. And I just embellished that up and left the back, and that just goes in there. Here I had made some things with Kathy Holden fabric, and this was one of the things I had left, so I just stuck it in there. And more music paper, and then I just made a couple little cute tags in here. Little photo with the girls. Paper with an old gold doily. More coffee dyed paper. Here's this one. This is a really cute tag. She is brave, fearless, and original. Thought that was really cute. That was all Timmie stuff. That's on an avocado dyed index card. And then there's this, and this folds out like that. So cute. And then we have this, and I just stamped on this, and that actually folds out. And I made a Timmie paper clip and just added that. Here's just a cute little page. Here's the other half of my tag, stamped on that. Here's the other half of the pattern pocket. There's a pocket in there if you want. I just did one of Timmie's old paper clips that have that has the little rhinestone on it, and this is one of his lettering guides, and I just stuck one of those in there like that. I get this in there. There you go. And then there's this, and then I just did a little pocket made out of the pattern paper that was left, and just put wallpaper and a little flashcard and stuff in there just for fun, and then just put that down. And then that's the end. So these are my tribute to Shabby Soul, Suzy. And like I said, if you are lacking inspiration, or you don't know what to do, and you're thinking, oh, I don't want to do a whole journal, I just want to do a little bit, these were fun because I literally pulled out everything and just started doing. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for stopping by. I will see you guys sooner than later. Have a great day. Bye.